I'm running a meal prep kit business where I empower home cooks to be able to prepare meals at home in under 15 minutes. So I graduated in 2021 from the School of Business and Accountancy. Mise En Place means that it basically translates to everything in its place, usually before a service of a restaurant or before a meal. I went on to work at a few fine dining. One of them is Odette, and then I went to cafe. And after that, I realized that, you know what, I want to start something on my own. But the actual concept actually came around 2018. So I think this is something that's relatable to all of us. I've worked in, I think, Michelin-starred restaurant before, yet I still view my grandma as the best chef I know, because I think she knows how to make all my favorite food, and there's some part about her being very secretive about the recipe that just adds an additional touch, because I can't figure it out. Like, I can roughly figure out what's inside it, but I can't exactly make it to an identical taste. So there was always this mystery, and also, I guess, this love for cooking, and that actually came from her, watching her cook as I grew up. And in 2018, when she passed away, right, my grandpa was living all alone, and his health isn't really great. So he usually eats healthy meal, and usually my grandma is the one cooking for him, but he was spending a lot of weekdays alone at home, and he wanted to learn how to prepare his own meal. So I started preparing little packets of, like, I cut up ingredients, I'll marinate like fish or like chicken or like simple dishes for him. And I realized that the second part is, wait a second, I can prepare all that for him, but he doesn't know how to cook. So I had to teach him how to cook. So I started voice recording recipes. Like I feel like a kopitiam uncle, like, you know, this kind of like voice record on like WhatsApp. And then I just send it over to him. So then I'll teach him how to cook itself. And I think that was the foundation. I was like, hey, he actually learned how to cook within 6 months of me doing this. I realized that a lot of reasons on why people stray away from home cooking is, number one, they don't know how to cook. Because let's face it, I think cooking itself, sometimes a little bit daunting when you want to prepare a whole meal. Or second time is that they are too busy, in a sense where they have very little time. So this is where working moms comes under this category and part of my target audience. So I figured out that if I can prepare meal kits, right, that is like tried, tested, made it into such a simplest form. In terms of what I've learned, I think my entire foundation of culinary came from my chefs that I worked with, and that itself formed the foundation of my business. In terms of experience-wise, it comes a lot, and I think I learned a lot from watching how they run the business, what to do, even more so on what not to do. So I heard this new elective called EP, Entrepreneurship Program, where they basically they'll give you a pass-fail, and you just have to like prove your concept of business kind of thing. And like every week there was a workshop, but through the workshops, I actually learned quite a bit, because they get people that are with industry experience that are actually running their own business. And I think that was one of the areas where I learned the most. And that program was initiated by Sandbox. That was the first time I came into contact with Sandbox. Another one was like TED. I didn't TEDx Youth at MP, but that one is besides it. And then the second one that really came into contact was GIP. I've made like amazing friends and connection from there, and also it's through that process that that Sandbox provided that I realized that, hey, I don't want to just stay in the F&B industry. I actually kind of love the tech industry as well, and so like I'm currently working on a side project that's combining both. And third, I think Sandbox wise, in terms of what they provided, they gave me funding for my business. One of the very memorable experiences was when I initiated this project where I was like, have you heard of MBTI before? Like Myers-Briggs, you know, like your 4 letters. And so I started that project, and then she gave me her full blessing. I've run it for a while, and then it turned out pretty well. And the next thing I know, I was like doing this little project called like I think they called the project Scoot by Intern, where people with like 10 years sales industry, they'll come into a call and be like, okay, John, what do you have for me, kind of thing. And I organized a hair going away party for myself where we did it in the office and I charged them $10 per person to shave my head. Yeah, and that was pretty fun. And the money went to Hair for Hope. But that was one of the more enjoyable experiences. So I think one of the advice part is that I believe in life there's always a sacrifice, and the question is, why are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your sleep, your future, your friends, your personal time, or your work or your career, or even pursuing something that you like for stability? And I think that the question when it comes to this is understanding that every decision has a sacrifice. For every one yes that you say, one that you say yes to, you're saying no to everything else, and through that you learn. I think I've learned a lot.